storeroom when a customer threw up at the store's lunch counter. Get the hell out of there. That's what he told me. Don also told me there was nothing better for a 16-year-old to do on a Friday evening than clean toilets and scrub floors. Don taught me that working the Friday evening late shift until closing time of 9 p.m. was not really necessary if the store manager had already gone home early. He usually reminded me of this as he was going out the back door at about 8:30 most Friday nights. Don taught me how to look appreciative and very thankful when the store manager gave me my weekly pay of $1 an hour, totaling about $20, always paid in a sealed Kresge's envelope and always in cash. Here's a good one. Don taught me to be extra nice to the young red-haired girl working at the candy counter, as I would likely get extra candy. Don's pockets were always full of candy, and he always had that twinkle that he has in his eye for the candy lady. Ever heard Don?
Yes. Well, barely.
I learned from Don that Kresge's was not a very good place to buy a new suit, as I saw how he looked in his polyester Kresge's store brand label suit. Same with his shirt, his tie, his shoes, all purchased from the prestigious Kresge collection. A fashion trend that fortunately never did catch on. Don taught me how to properly pack and bag and arrange all the Kresge's garbage outside the store's back door on the Carlin Street on garbage night, so that Kresge's garbage was always the best looking on the streets of downtown Manhattan. I don't know why it mattered, but Don always taught me to carry a clipboard or a pad of paper to ensure everyone thought you were far too busy to help them with anything. Lastly, and on a more serious note, likely the biggest and most important thing Don ever taught me, and this is one that I have always carried with me throughout all my working years since my first job at Kresge's. No matter what the job is, good or bad, tough or easy, always make sure you have fun doing it. We all know Don very well, and we all know that Don's approach to life, work, and everyone he knows is to always have fun and enjoy the people you're having fun with. So true. My one last Kresge story, before we move forward 50 years, is a perfect example of mentorship and having fun with Don, when the whole situation could have been taken totally the other way, possibly even to disastrous. Every Saturday afternoon at the store at 1:45 p.m., Don and my job was to carry up a long table from the downstairs storeroom up onto the store's retail floor and place it directly in the middle of the main store aisle. It would be loaded with all kinds of store products that hadn't been selling very well, mostly junk. And the table was totally covered by a large white sheet to ensure no one got to see what was on the mystery table until the specified time. You're laughing already. As the specified time got closer, people would crowd around, pushing and shoving to get as close to the table as possible. There would be about 4 or 5 people deep around the table. Some would even try to lift the corner of the sheet to peek under. Don would give them one of these. And our job was to secure the table until the exact specified time. Don at one end, me at the other. At exactly 2 p.m., we'd count down together from 10, 9, 8, 7 to 0. And then, together, we'd lift the sheet with great flair and great expectation. And it was always the same reaction from the eager shoppers. Ew, that's it? What crap. What a ripoff. That was often followed by loud boos of disappointment and occasional swear words directed our way. Most people then quickly left the area and the store. Don and I would stand there at the table for a while to supervise, both just totally loving and soaking in the moment. And then we'd proceed to the basement storeroom, and we'd always laugh out loud about what we had just got to experience. And then we'd begin to prepare another table of treasures for the next hour, and a totally new crowd of bargain seekers with always the same reaction. For both Don and I, that was a whole lot of fun and laughter and a great memory, and living proof to me that you can and should always have fun in what you do, no matter what it is. Don and I went quite a few years not seeing each other after our Kresge's days, as career paths led us in different ways. Don joined Manulife in London as an agent in 1969, working his way up the corporate ladder at Manulife and going on to becoming a regional manager and director of agencies, working from Toronto's head office and being selected 4 times. He told me 3, but he called me back to correct it. He said, I think it was 4. As Manulife Manager of the Year for Canada. Manulife presented Don with diamond rings to recognize each of those special career achievements. Did you wear it? There it is. What of them? He had made it to the pinnacle of success in the life insurance industry. Congratulations, Don, on that career achievement. I didn't see Don much in those years, but whenever I did, I realized that Don must be very, very good at what he does. As those were the days when Don styled his hair in a full body perm. And there's a mugshot of it back there. It was very full, and there was a lot of those tight little curls everywhere.
I couldn't do a thing with them. They were just...
That wasn't natural. No, and you know what? I can't believe you don't even have gray hair yet. That's pretty good. Anyway, with that hairdo, and still I'm amazed he did as well as he did. He had that hairdo, wearing his polyester Kresge's band suit. He must have been very, very good at what he does to do that well. Fast forward 57 years later from our Kresge's days to March 2024, just over a year ago. My wife Pam and I were planning a vacation in the Algarve of Portugal. And Don and his special friend Hazel, where's Hazel? Welcome, Hazel. Good to be here. And his friend Hazel asked if they could come and meet us there. Of course we said yes. I had never traveled anywhere with Don before, and it certainly allowed me to witness a whole other aspect of the fun side of Don. I call it Don's European vacation. And here's just one example. Our Portuguese hotel included an amazing buffet breakfast. You know where this is going, don't you? Every morning. It had everything from the traditional breakfasty stuff, but in Europe they do it different. They also add all sorts of cold meats, cheeses, spreads, vegetables, pastries, and fruit and bread products. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but Don likes to wear baggy pants. Don't you?
Yes.
In Portugal, I soon learned why. I watched every morning as he would approach the buffet line when the hostess was not watching. Very professionally and discreetly and with military precision, Don would walk the buffet line, picking up food along the way, stuff it into his pockets. Both hands working very quickly in unison like that. As he left that buffet every morning, Don's pants were usually stuffed with enough food to feed a family of 4 for a week. Don brought true meaning to why cargo pants are actually called cargo pants, as every cargo pocket was bulging. If he had popped a seam on those cargo pants while walking out of the buffet, it would have been like bursting a Mexican piñata. There would be meat and cheese and buns spread everywhere. We've all heard that expression, is that a banana in your pants? I can assure you with Don, it's a banana. Quite often we'd all go for a walk about the town right after breakfast. Don would soon have about a half a dozen homeless cats following along. Fast forward one more year, here we are today. A celebration of life with Don, his family and friends as we celebrate Don's 80th birthday. Thank you, Don, for including all of us in your celebration and allowing me to roast you here today with fun memories from over 57 years of friendship. The stories I've told you here today about Don and his earlier days and Don's European vacation are all based on true experience I've had with Don, with maybe only a slight bit of embellishment here and there. But as someone once told me, never let the truth get in the way of a good story. But with Don, I've learned there's always a good story. And now, before I ask Don to come to the podium, I would ask if there's anyone else who would like to come up to share a special memory or thought about their relationship with Don, and I would invite you to come up and please do so. Ron?
Thank you, Steve. I should tell everyone. Oh, sorry. I wear these sunglasses not because I'm trying to look cool, as I've just had cataract surgery. So, just so you know. I met Don in 1956, when most of you were not even thought of. And we hit it off right off the bat, and that friendship has remained to today. There were a number of years that would go by, and Don and I didn't see each other, but when we did, it was just like we had met yesterday. I saw some pictures there that just I should back up though. So we went to school together, and Don's dad was the principal at the high school. And so when we got to high school, we were in a hockey, and if you keep your eye on the screen, there it is, that's it. Don and I were 2/3 of a forward line in bantam hockey. To say that we struck fear in the hearts of our opponents would be a big lie. In fact, they would cheer for us to come back on that so that we scored more goals.
Well, that's in there. That's Don. Yeah, no.
What are you looking at?
It was in the waitress pictures. You guys
Oh, yes. Yeah, well, Don and I were also waiters at a lodge in Muskoka one summer where we wore quite attractive dresses. And that will eventually come around so you'll be able to see it. I don't think we did any more cross-dressing. So as I said, Don and I have remained friends for, I can't do the math, what's 56? It's almost 70 years.
70 years.
Just a 70 years.
73 years.
No, not that. 56?
You want to count?
We're trying to do the math.
69.
Yeah. Anyway, that's an awful long time to call someone a very good friend. I have an anecdote to tell, and I'm not going to embarrass Don greatly, but
Nothing could embarrass me.
that's true. How many of you know that Don actually had a nickname at one point in life? Nobody knows Don had a nickname, but he did in high school. And when you hear what the nickname is, you'll understand why he didn't want to carry it any further. As was said, we grew up in Glencoe. And Glencoe was one of those little towns that cost 15 cents to get into the movie theater. Imagine that, Annie, 15 cents. So anyway, one Saturday, this particular movie, it starred Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis, and probably not many of you even know who they are. But they were a famous comedy team that was very popular at the time. So I can't remember the names. I don't even know what the name of the movie was, but Martin and Lewis had this pet. And the pet was a bull, a big, raging kind of bull. And I don't think he looked like Don very much. But anyhow, the name of the bull was Cuddles. And after that movie, all of us, his fellow students at the high school, started calling him Cuddles Cunningham. So, to have it as a senior person at the life insurance company would not have been good at all. So thankfully for Don, that the nickname kind of faded away after high school. And I've already talked about our hockey life, which was not terribly exciting. So anyway, Don, I'm happy to have you join the Octogenarian Club.
Yeah, you're one.
And so is Bruce, I just heard that.
Bruce is one.
Yeah.
We've got a few octogenarians here.
Yeah, so anyway, Don, it's been a pleasure all of these years to be a good friend of yours, and I wish you a happy birthday today, and may you have many, many more happy, healthy birthdays.
Thank you so much.